Alright guys, so for part 2 of the John Deere 7230 John Deere tractor, we are going to be doing a few things, but one major one for this video is we're going to be replacing the manifold right there, if you guys can see that, which was shown in part 1 video, and it was majorly cracked and broken, and I talked to my dad, and he said that we were most likely going to get a new one for it, so therefore I am taking it apart. So it's a family effort, but Dad and Justice are actually working some cows, and they didn't need my help, so here I am in the shop. I've got all my tools laid out here, and all my bolts. I don't know if you need to do this, but for me it's always helpful. I lay out all my bolts and number them, so like if you can see that there, you can see they're all numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. It's kind of hard to see in the camera, but then I have all my bolts, and like for instance, you can see that? That's a 3. So, I keep numbering them all and list them. I don't know if that's a necessity, but I always like to be more careful than not careful enough when doing this stuff because it's always hard to put it back if it's wrong or you don't keep track of the bolts. So with that said, guys, let's get started onto this and we'll see what we can do. Alright, so as you guys saw a second ago, I got most of the bolts out. I haven't got them all out. I've got them numbered so I can keep track of the bolts. I took this fuel filter head off. Make sure to always cap your fuel filter heads and lines. There's a line back up underneath there if you can see that. And I had to cap it. Always tie your stuff up because you don't want any steel metal lines breaking. And so we've got all the bolts. I've got all the bolts on this main piece. I've just got the broken bolts pieces left back in here. And then I've just got those up top there. And I'm not sure what all belongs up there. So it's going to get kind of interesting, guys. But let's get started on the rest of it. Alright, so I was going to tell you here's the slight problem. But there's a major problem. And that's that a cat's on the table. There we go. Now back to the problem. This is supposed to have the rest of it, which is still on the tractor. I haven't got off yet. But if you guys can see, the 2 ragged plugged holes is where it was. And so it completely clean broke off down in there. Just not quite sure how it happened. We did not own the tractor when it happened, but it did. So at least I got all my bolts organized. I got my fuel filter bracket bolts and my heat shield bolts, which the heat shield's here. Then I've got all my shims, I think that's what they're called, that are here, and I've got them all numbered so then I know which side they came from. Oddly, there's only one shim on number 2, which would be right here on this hole. So I'm not sure if it was supposed to have 2 and one's just there for some odd reason. So we'll see that. We'll probably talk to the John Deere people. But yeah, so this is where I'm at so far in the project. So at least I've got everything numbered, organized. I've lost one of those fuel bracket bolts in the belly pan, but was able to find it with the help of a handy-dandy flashlight. So... And by the way, if you guys ever mechanicked, you know that flashlights are awesome. This is one we use. It's kind of hard to see. It's LED, so you could drop it on the ground and it wouldn't break it like a regular trouble light would. It's got a really nice cord, and I'll get over here and show you guys the brand name of it. It's pretty handy. We use it for everything. Alright, so that's my fault. The brand, I got black soot on my nose. The brand is not on there, so I don't know what exactly brand it is. You guys can probably just look it up on Google or eBay or any of those. But it's got a roller, and it's really handy. You can just hang it anywhere. It plugs into the wall. It's got a circuit underneath it that pops out so you don't catch anything on fire or anything like that. And it's definitely extremely bright. So with that said, guys, let's get back to mechanicking. But did want to get off topic there a minute and tell you guys about that handy light because we use it for literally everything. It's better than a flashlight. Now, granted, you only have like 50 foot to reach or whatever. Or actually, I think it's 75 foot. But it's definitely handy if you're working in a shop. Kind of like an air hose, you know, as long as you don't catch it on something, it'll last a long time. The bulbs are replaceable on it, and we've literally accidentally dropped it, you know, because regular trouble lights just have a regular light bulb in them. If any of you guys have ever changed a light bulb, you know that light bulbs break, and these don't, which is awesome in the mechanics circle. So anyway, get back to it. Didn't want to get off topic too long. Alright guys, so Dad helped me and we got all this off, so this is the big piece too. We had to heat the bolts out of around the turbo, which if I can get around the toolbox, hello cat, and also we had to take the toolbox mounting plate, which would have been attached here, off to get more room for convenience. But this is the turbo piece, and if you guys can see that, we had to heat those bolts, but we had to be really careful because this here is plastic. I never knew they put plastic on the top of an engine, but I guess that is what it is. But here's all 6 ports open, guys. We're gonna take a drill and a wire brush and run in there so then they can be all clean. And thank goodness we got it done when we did, because it would have melted the plastic over the top of the engine, and it was right on some fuel lines, which is definitely not safe. So with that said, guys, we're gonna see how much the new one costs. Alright, so part 2 is now complete on the 7230 John Deere tractor. We've got it all off and we're going to get some parts. And actually, Dad called up there for the 7230 John Deere parts and talked to the John Deere guys, so we're going to keep you guys in tune on that. And right now we're in Justice's first generation pickup we're driving. So with that said, guys, hope you guys have an awesome day. And stay tuned. Don't forget to hit the comment button down below, subscribe, and hope you have a great day.